For today's Dragon Ball Legends video, we're going to talk about all the best teammates for your new LF Goku and Frieza. So we're going to talk about them and their best team in DB Legends. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, if you enjoy this video as well. And let me know in the comments down below what team you guys are using for Goku and Frieza. And if you haven't pulled them, I wish you good luck and I hope that you pull them soon. All right, so we're going to start off by showing a list of characters that are the absolute pinnacle of characters you guys should be using, and then we'll work our way down by replacing some of these characters and showing you guys different options and alternative choices if you don't have X character available to you. All right, so here's what I came up with. So overall, this is very easy to see, very straightforward. I'm going to talk about that blank spot in a second, but the key takeaway from this is that the new characters just mesh so incredibly well together as the first point, and second point is that a lot of these characters are just multiple things. They're old, outdated, power crept, not good enough, etc. That doesn't mean you can't take some of these characters into certain types of content and not get success with them, because you can. That doesn't mean you can't take some of these characters on a team with Goku and Vegeta, excuse me. Oh, yeah, Frieza, I was right. I was looking at the Vegeta on the screen. That doesn't mean you can't take them on a team with the Goku and Frieza and be successful, because you can. But again, we're talking about the best and we're working our way down. I personally like to maintain at least 4 color choices whenever I build any type of team. That is my own predetermined philosophy. There are going to be other players that only will ever use the same 3 characters. They'll never have another option on their team, etc. And if that's you, I understand it. Well, what is that blank space for, if you're wondering? Well, the blank space was for a potential Zenkai buff. So this character is the one that we'd be Zenkai buffing in today's video discussion, and we'll go from there. But they have a lot of tags. Unfortunate, though, that there's no way, I don't believe, within Universe Reps exclusively to Zenkai buff them. So you would probably need to finagle the team a little bit, move them out of the leader skill, put somebody else in that you want, like, I don't know, Casserole, I guess, because he's on the brain. Put him in the leader skill slot as well, so he would get whatever Z ability that you would be getting from a further Zenkai buff for this character to really just make them pop off stronger. Albeit the other characters like Jiren and Kiawe wouldn't be getting a Zenkai buff, but we can sacrifice one Z ability in the ideal world. So we're going to start with this and work our way down. Now, there is one really times a million big character that is not on my team. Let me know if you guys can figure it out. I'll give you 3 seconds to point your comment or pause the video. Okay, that character is Ultra Hit. Well, you may be wondering why Ultra Hit isn't on my team, and that's a pretty straightforward answer. I don't own him. However, he would be the de facto best red for this team. Sorry, Casserole, you're not as good as Ultra Hit, and nobody would argue otherwise. But again, Casserole does have some fun stuff in his kit. So anyway, Ultra Hit would be the character that you are putting here as your predetermined red. Also, I want to throw this out there as a discussion point. Let me know how you guys feel about Goku and Frieza. My experience with them is that the Goku side is like just kind of okay, but the Frieza side I think is a lot better. He has a better field presence. There's a lot Frieza can do, and I'm really worried about them in just like a month's time. Tag characters are really sketchy to me. I just don't know what's going on. They could put a bunch of stuff in their kit and they just seem to fall off quickly. So let me know how you guys feel about Goku and Frieza, and I say that because you can make an actual solid case that they shouldn't be on this team. Dun dun dun. I know it's kind of weird. If you're looking to build the best Universe Reps team, you can make a really strong case they shouldn't be on it. You could put somebody like Ultra Gogeta Blue or something like that in the leader slot and just and just call it a day, right? With what we have here and fill in the last spot. So I don't know. I wonder how you guys feel about it. But again, I like the character a lot in their today's topic videos, video topic discussion point, etc. Okay, so let's talk about alternative choices. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about Bergamo. Why is he on the team? What can we do with him, etc. You don't have to have him. I just like to have a character that boosts HP on my teams if possible, and that just makes it all go. Also, when we have Casserole, we have Hit, we have whoever, he would be applying the Zenkai buff to them too. So an added bonus, right? Especially if you have Hit, you're getting extra stats and more tankiness and all that stuff. So I would recommend using the HPZ ability, especially on a Zenkai buffer like Bergamo. However, we're going to remove him from here and work our way down. So let's go ahead and sort through reds. Now, like I said a moment ago, you can kind of move some of these characters around, and you can export a character and put another character in for your leader slot and do what you need to do, and you can make it work. There are a lot of good characters that could be applied to this team if you're not so dead set on having a pure Universe Reps team. Also, there are good characters that are of some of the same colors as these characters that we'll talk about in a minute, like Android 17, who, trust me, I'm not forgetting. He is a really big dark horse that I'm going to talk about when we get to him in a minute. All right, Red. What are we doing with Red? We don't have Hit. What are we doing? Easy. Casserole's going there. If you have Goku and Frieza, you probably have Casserole because he was on the banner too, right? So I hope that you have him. Some people were telling me they were only getting him, so there's that as well. All right, well, if you don't have him, what's next? The funny thing is, I think that if you don't have him, the next obvious choice is Ultra Instinct Goku, and I know it's so funny to say, oh, Sparking is better than an LF. It's true. However, I will give some credence to Goku's counter ability and stuff like that. If you're really good with his gauge, maybe you feel differently and you can use him effectively, and I completely understand that. But I'm going to run Casserole first. And I also, here's the funny thing. If you don't have Casserole for whatever reason, I think you can go Goku, but I also think this is where we hit another inflection point. I feel like if you don't have Casserole and you don't have Ultra Hit, I feel like you could maybe just call it a day and run these characters on the top and just go with that, right? I feel like you don't need that. But again, I personally like to have another red option on my team, especially because Jiren is in all the matches. Now, Jiren is deceptive because he has the defensive type neutrality and all that, blah, blah, blah. But I would like to have a red, so we're going to put Casserole back in. But if you don't have him, then you go to Ultra Instinct. And if you don't have Ultra Instinct, really, you're moving on, okay? Well, okay, you could use Bergamo, I guess. Bergamo's not bad, but you're moving on, okay? That's the point. You're moving on. All right, so let's talk about Yellow next. We're talking about Jiren. Jiren has a real argument to be the best character on this banner. And like I said, you can make an argument Goku and Frieza, just they're kind of sketchy. My experience with Goku and Frieza is that they're really squishy. They take a lot of damage, man. And also some of that's because I'm at a low star level, but I don't play a lot of matches versus the sweaty competitive matches or where we have like all 14-star characters because I don't spend very much money on the game, and I just play players that have stars for the most part, unless it's an old character, that are equivalent to mine. Most of my LFs are like 3, 4, 5-star because I'm not even pulling their second copy. So I'm mainly playing players that have equivalent star levels to me. Hopefully that's relatable to you guys when you watch my content. Okay, so Jiren. If we don't have Jiren, what are we doing? Well, I think that the easy answer for this is going to be Evolution Vegeta. Now, he's an LF. He's an LF with the Zenkai, so there's a huge drop-off. If you don't have him with the Zenkai, I would not bother here. And we, again, hit another inflection point. I like Kaioken Goku a lot. He's your next choice. If you don't have him because he is a freaking Ultra, then we'd probably just move on from Yellow and make do with Purple, Green, Red. If you have Casserole and Kiawe and the tag, you don't got Jiren, you maybe call it a day. Or you get another character from a different team to put in your leader slot like I was mentioning. We hit inflection points because there's actually a really big drop-off after that. Like, for example, I like this 17. I thought he was really good for a really long time. In fact, was underrated with some of the stuff he could do, and he could still catch people off guard. However, he doesn't have the juice to match today's characters for the most part. If he gets a type advantage lock-in, he'll get the kill, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, he doesn't have the juice. It's unfortunate they started building this team now. Well, not really now. They started earlier this year with Hit and Goku and 17, but it's unfortunate they started giving this team a melee-based background now and made this dude ranged because it really, really blows. If he was a melee-type character, he might have a stronger claim. And unfortunately, this Gohan isn't very good. You know how I knew Gohan wasn't very good without outreading him? Was just the traits. He has literally 2. That's how I knew he wasn't good. Okay, so we're not using Gohan, unfortunately, as a Gohan fan. But again, Jiren is your choice. All right, let's move over to Green next for Kiawe. She is an insane character. The double vanish, the vanish removal, the support she gives, the blast armor ultimate, the blast armor blue card, just crazy. The card reload, just crazy character. She's actually insane. So I really got to make this very clear. She's really good, and being that she's a new character, she's even better right now than she ever will be, most likely again, until she gets a Zenkai eventually, or they add her back to the featured boost system, where right now she's getting extra stats for PvP matches. So she's at an absolute peak right now, despite having an awesome kit. And that's very relevant because we have some solid green characters. Goku here. What? This is another LF. What is with these Sparkings beating the LFs? Well, Goku, unfortunately, for the record, I will put a lot of value in the revive mechanic. However, he's extremely squishy, at least for me. And part of that's because he's not in the boost system going up against characters that are. He's out there getting, like, even Jiren is like two-carding him. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But a lot of value in that, the revive effect. It is one of the best effects in the entire game, and I do think that the Ultra Instinct Goku half of this character is really good, and I really like this Goku pre-revive too with his main ability. I typically don't just let him go, but unfortunately he is going to get the boot. He is now your secondary green choice. You're going to use the Kiawe first, and you know, it's kind of a 2A, 2B type of thing. There isn't a clear second between him and Green Jiren in my opinion. I really like Green Jiren too. He just seems like he has a lot of sustainability. He's always healing. He's always damaging. He's always doing everything. Like, this Green Jiren is a really well-designed Zenkai. They didn't change very much, but they didn't really need to do a ton. So I think that if you have Jiren like I do and you have Goku like I do, then I think you could make a real strong claim outside of the revive effect that you might have better sustainability and usage with Jiren. That's not to say Jiren's kit is better, because I don't believe that to be true. But I think that, again, if you have a box that looks like mine, you start to hit another inflection point. And then also, we have to mention the Vegeta. It's going to take people a little bit of time to finish the Vegeta, obviously, because you have to grind it in co-op, but Vegeta's really good. Unlike Gohan, the Vegeta here is really good. So there's some solid green characters, and you can also dig a little bit deeper if you really want to and pull out Golden Frieza. I'm sure he can still do some fun stuff, and that's about it. We're going to move on from here, but again, green, Kiawe, there's like Kiawe and there's a huge chasm afterwards. That's what I've been trying to explain when I say there's a gap, you know? There's an inflection, there's a really big gap. All right, let's move to purple. So purple's covered by the tag. It's there, and there's not very many options here either. We're holding out hope he'll get a Zenkai in part 2, because they didn't announce it. Maybe they'll just give him a Zenkai in part 1 in an off week, I guess, without announcing it. I doubt they do that, but who knows? Anyway, yeah, we're holding hope for him, but he's not in consideration right now. Shout out to you, MUI Goku or UI Goku lovers. Okay, Jiren, with his unique equip, he's pretty solid, but I think there's another huge gap after in terms of power. I'm not using this Jiren for the most part, and the funny thing is, I think that if you pulled EX Vados and you have been limit breaking her with multi-Z power, you could, if you've got her at at least a respectable star level 6+. And again, that's going to take either a lot of summons or a lot of multi-Z power. So trust me, I understand. It is a lot to ask. But if you have her at least a decent star level, she is going to be your next best purple. She does a lot of stuff in her kit, like Sealing Rising Rush and all this other stuff that you are not going to want to miss out on, especially if you're going to be pairing her with other hard-hitting characters. But the key takeaway from purple is that purple is already covered because it's our tag, which is also why I saved blue, because blue is the most polarizing choice. But unless you're going to run double purple, in which case you're best suited to run yellow or red. Yellow or red. You could. It's kind of weird because the tag is one of them, and they actually are not just reverse elements; they're two different elements, so you can cover for their weaknesses with different things. But anyway, actually, no. You run the red. Yeah, you run the red. You went. It's basically purple red because the purple color on Vados would cover for Frieza weakness. So anyway, yeah, it's purple red. In which case, you're running. If you have hit, I mean, you can actually make a really strong team with hit, the tag, and Vados. Actually, that could be pretty solid. I wouldn't bother doing double purple outside of having Vados. Like, if you don't have Vados but you have the tag, I wouldn't do this. I just wouldn't. You know, something that starts to happen with some of these characters is they start having restrictions. Like, Jiren is like, oh, you can't Rising Rush me, because if you Rising Rush me, I'll get 1,000,000 buffs. Well, the takeaway from that is, okay, I'll just kill you without Rising Rushing you. And unfortunately, there's a really strong yellow character in every damn match right now, so it makes it even harder to use him. So there's that, right? And then outside of the yellow type advantage Jiren that's out there, other characters are just going to shred him to pieces. You got to consider the field, right? All the Ultras are going to shed this Jiren to pieces. The new characters are also going to shed, all of them, all 4 of the ones on the team are going to shed this Jiren to pieces. So, like, we don't need to rush you, bro. Like, you want to get rushed, but we don't got to rush you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't bother with anything else here. All right. I stalled long enough. Let's get to the real polarizing choice. Is there anyone else here? No, it's just him. I really like Champa and Beerus, but they're not really worth consideration. I guess they're more so secondary. Okay, 17. I'm going to start this by saying this very clearly. 17 100% deserves to be on this team. Not as a replacement, but as an actual character. Okay, I left that spot open for a Zenkai buff, but I also left it open because I was going to talk about 17. Sorry it took 15 minutes to get here. 17, 100% is a member of this team. 17 is a phenomenal character. He's got so much stuff in his kit. He's got another damn double vanish. Oh my god, him and Kelly together's got to be a nightmare. Oh my god, I just thought of that. That's got to be a nightmare. So why wasn't he on the initial draft? And well, he wasn't on the initial draft, so I could talk about him here. And that, you know how I just got done talking about the double purple thing? I don't love the double blue. It would actually be very different. I wouldn't talk about this so much if there was reverse element blue. Like if Frieza was reverse element, I wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? I just don't love the double blue personally. In which case, that puts a lot of pressure on your Goku and Frieza to flip back to the Goku side or stay a lot longer in the Goku side. And double blue is very, very hard to get away with right now in matches with Rosé all the damn time. It's extremely hard to get away with. So that's the reason why. There's nothing wrong with 17's kit. I don't think he's power crept. I think he's still one of the best characters in the game. In fact, I think he's one of the... He might be the... Okay. Excluding the new batch of characters that happened, like these other characters alongside him on my team currently, he may very well be the best character in the game outside of Ultras as just a regular sparking. That's how highly I regard 17. He's up there with Beast. I think Beast is up there too. Anyway, the point is 17 is phenomenal. So he should be on the team, and I would personally run him. It's just, if you're going to put him on the team, you can't bring him in that match versus Rosé. But if they don't have Rosé, you can make do with using him. And like I said earlier, here's another fun thing. You can just drop the Goku and Frieza if you don't have them also. And you can make do with all these characters on a team, and you would be really set. This is a damn good team. All these characters are good. This is a really good core 4 right there. And then you could make do with the rest being either Zenkai buffs or Z abilities that you have as well. That's a really good core 4. Doesn't that look freaking strong? So Universe Survival or Universe Reps is really, really good. And I think that 17 it absolutely epitomizes that. He encapsulates everything this team wants to be. So this team has some really high-end quality characters between even multiple choices like Kiawe and the Revival Goku. We have Hit. We have who's I don't have, obviously. We have Hit. We have Casserole there. 2 really good red characters, Hit being the best red in the game. We have multiple blue characters. We have multiple purple choices. Not as many with purple, I guess. But the point is Universe Reps is fully fleshed out at this point, and I really like what they have done with this team. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up and that subscribe. Let me know what team you guys settled on, and maybe if I changed any of your minds with this video. Notice I didn't talk about some characters like this guy because I don't really have much to say. Alright guys, have an awesome day, and I'll see all of you in the next one. And who's looking forward to that potential Ultra Instinct Omen, not Omen, I guess him too, but the red Ultra Instinct Goku Platinum equip? Dun dun dun!